A very good morning to all my dear students. This is Arvind Dobrial and you all are welcome to the e-learning portal of Cambridge International School, Daswa. So dear students, we are reading the main textbook, that is Beehive. So the chapter that we are going to study today is The Bond of Love by Kenneth Anderson. Before reading today's chapter, let's have a quick recap of the poem On Killing a Tree written by G. Patel. The poet considers the tree as a living organism. According to the poet, it has the right to live like any other creature. But the man is killing it with utmost cruelty and carelessness. This poem indirectly gives out a strong idea that trees are our lifeline, so they must not be killed. The poet instructs how a tree is killed, but actually he means its opposite. It implies that a person shall be a murderer if he kills a tree. He says that a knife will not do harm to a tree. At last, the poet conveys that if the tree is killed, it must be uprooted completely. On stating this, the poet taunts the people cutting the trees. The message in the end is that trees are something pious and like human beings. They are precious and they must not be cut. The poet also conveys that the tree is deep rooted and cannot be removed easily. He compared it with the evils which he thinks are deep rooted and cannot be removed very easily. Now, after the quick recap of the poem On Killing a Tree, let's move to our present topic. First of all, I would like to tell you some objectives of the chapter. To understand the passage and grasp its meaning, to enable the students to understand the passage by silent reading, to enrich their active and passive vocabulary, to enable the students to develop love and affection towards the animals, to enable the students to express ideas contained in the passage orally and in writing. So, first of all, I would like to tell you something about the author of this chapter. Kenneth Anderson was born in Bolram on 8th March 1910. He came from a British family and settled in India for sixth generation. His father, Aryan Stewart Anderson, was a superintendent of the FCMA in Pune, Maharashtra, and dealt with the salaries paid to military personnel. Anderson went to Bishop Cotton Boys School and also studied at St. Joseph College, Bangalore. He was sent to study law at Edinburgh, but he quit studies and returned to India. He worked for 15 years in the Post and Telegraph Department and later worked at the British Aircraft Factory in Bangalore. He owned nearly 200 acres of land across Karnataka, Hyderabad, and Tamil Nadu. In 1972, he was diagnosed with cancer, from which he died in the year 1974. His love for the inhabitant of Indian jungle led him to big game hunting and to writing real life adventure stories. He often went into the jungle alone and unarmed to meditate and enjoy the beauty of untouched nature. As a hunter, he tracked down man eating tigers and leopards. Anderson gives insight into the people of Indian jungle of his time, with woods full of wildlife and local inhabitant having to contend with poor quality roads, communication and health facilities. He is officially recorded as having shot 8 man eating leopards, 7 males and 1 female, and 7 tigers, 5 males and 2 females on the government records from 1939 to 1966, though he is rumored to have unofficially shot over 18 man eating panther and over 15 to 20 man eating tigers. Now, let me tell you the theme of the chapter. The theme of the story is that the wild animals, even the sloth bears, have emotions, affection, and deep bond. The story is developed around the concept that love is reciprocal. Even animals respond sincerely to the affection and care shown to them by the human beings. In fact, the emotional bond that animals form is so strong that they don't easily forget those who care for and love them. This is the story of love and friendship between an animal and a human being. One day, the author found a bear cub in the field. He took it home and presented it to his wife. The bear and the author's wife developed a great love for each other. When the bear grew up, it was sent to the zoo at Mysore. She became very sad. After 3 months, she visited the zoo. The bear, whose name was Baba, at once recognized her and danced with happiness. She came back, but she could not live without the bear. So the author's wife got the permission of the zoo superintendent to get the bear back. A special place was made at home for the grown up bear. Now both the bear and the author's wife were very happy. The story shows that animals too have as much love and affection as the human beings have. Now, the explanation parts. The story highlights the emotional bond between human beings and animals. The narrator's wife shares affection with a wild bear and they get attached to each other. It shows that animals have feelings and reciprocate to love with warmth and affection. The narrator's wife got a pet sloth bear as a pet due to an accident. 2 years before the time when the story was written, the narrator and his friends were passing through sugarcane fields near Mysore. The farmers were driving out pigs from their fields by shooting at them. As it was apparently over, suddenly a sloth bear appeared from the fields. It was breathing very heavily due to running and excessive heat. The narrator said that he would never shoot a bear without any reason. But one of his companions killed the bear and the bear was shot dead. The animal lay on the ground, but a part of its furry black body moved. It was a baby bear that had been lying on the mother bear's back. Now that the mother bear was dead, the baby got up and ran around the mother's body, crying. Now the explanation of paragraph 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. So the narrator tried to catch the baby bear. The bear escaped into the sugarcane field. The group chased it and finally the narrator caught hold of it from the back of its neck. The bear tried to scratch them with its hook-shaped claws. The group stuffed the bear in a gunny bag and took it to Bangalore. The narrator gifted the bear cub to his wife. She became very happy to have it. She tied a color ribbon around its neck. As it was a male cub, so it was named Bruno. The bear drank milk from a bottle. After a few days, it started drinking and eating many things, everything and almost anything, like vegetable, fruits, nuts, meats, beer, bread, eggs, chocolates, sweets, etc. The bear enjoyed eating and drinking. The bear became very friendly with the narrator's Alsatian dogs and also with the tenant's children who lived in the narrator's bungalow. As the bear was left free, it played, ran around the house, and even slept in the narrator's bed. One day, accidentally, Bruno drank the poison kept in the library to kill rats. He was paralyzed and could not stand on his feet. As he reached the narrator's wife, she called him and he realized what had happened. He took Bruno to a veterinary doctor. Now, explanation of paragraph 9th and 10th. So, as soon as Bruno was taken to the doctor, he took out his medical books and searched the index for poisoning by barium carbonate. He took out a syringe and the medicine. Bruno was still struggling to move, vomiting, breathing heavily, and his mouth was opened. Then the doctor asked everyone to hold Bruno. As it screamed, the medicine was injected. As the condition did not change, another injection was given. And 10 minutes later, Bruno's breathing eased. It could stand after 30 minutes and ate food. It gave them such a look which showed that it had been fine all the time and as if nothing had happened to him. In another accident, Bruno drank the used engine oil which the narrator had taken out of his Studebaker car and had kept to get rid of termites. That did not affect Bruno. As the days passed, Bruno grew bigger and outgrew the Alsatian dogs. Still, he was very sweet, naughty, and playful like before. He was very fond of everyone. The narrator's wife was very attached to Bruno and vice versa. She changed his name to Baba, which means a small boy in Hindustani language. Baba did some tricks also. When he was ordered Baba wrestle or Baba box, he would just wrestle the person and overpower him. When he was commanded Baba hold gun, he would point a stick at the person as if ready to shoot him. When asked, Baba, where is the baby? He would take out a piece of wood and cradle it affectionately like a baby. He had hidden the piece of wood under the straw bed. As he had grown big, he was chained because he could be a threat to the tenant's children. Now, dear students, I am going to conclude what we have read today. Today, we have read that the bond of love is about the emotional bond which the author's wife and her pet bear share between them. The author rescued the baby bear in an accident and gifted it to his wife. After that, they were bonding like he was their own child, and the author's wife loves him a lot. We see that the family nourished him and helped him to grow. As Bruno starts growing up, he bonded with everyone from the children to the pet dogs. He had his own bed and would play around with the little ones all the day. However, in an accident, one day he ate poison which was to kill rats. After consuming poison, Bruno got paralyzed, and after proper treatment, they were able to save him. Soon, life became normal, when in another accident he drank up a whole gallon of old engine oil meant for termites. But surprisingly, it did not affect Bruno. Thus, Bruno started growing in size but was equally sweet and playful. Upon growing, they changed his name to Baba, which means a small boy in the Hindi language. He picked up a few tricks growing up and entertained everyone. Nonetheless, his size was a problem, and being an animal, he was a threat to the children. Now, on the basis of you understanding the chapter so far, there are some questions for you. I hope you will do all these questions by yourself. So, till the next class we meet, take care of yourself and do studies. Thank you.